Okay, so I have here Miss Elizabeth Oyer, who was the attorney for pardons in the Department of Justice. She served under Joe Biden as well. And Miss Oyer has a very interesting story. Uh, it is a story of corruption within the federal government. And so what had happened is that Todd Blanche, the acting attorney general, had asked Miss Lawyer for a favor to pardon somebody, and the pardon was for a domestic abuse case, and essentially the person wanted their gun rights back. This went against Miss Oyer's best judgment, and she did not go through with the pardon process of this particular person. And subsequently, she got fired for not doing a favor for Donald Trump. And so let's check out Miss Oyer's clip during her hearing.
2 days after Mr. Blanche was confirmed as Deputy Attorney General, he fired me from my position as the department's career pardon attorney. I declined to rubber stamp a political favor for a friend of the president, and it cost me my job. Mr. Blanche's office had asked me to recommend restoring the gun ownership rights of a convicted domestic abuser. I raised concerns about public safety, but Mr. Blanche's staff pressured me to go along anyway. I did not. Domestic violence is the leading type of homicide among women. When a domestic abuser is armed, his victim is 5 times more likely to be killed. But because this particular domestic abuser had a personal relationship with the president, Mr. Blanche's staff asked me to set aside my concerns. When I wouldn't, Mr. Blanche fired me within hours. He then took extraordinary measures to silence me. He sent U.S. Marshals to my home in an effort to prevent me from speaking with members of Congress.
And so, from Miss Oyer's testimony here about her firing as the pardon attorney in the Department of Justice, you hear her claim that President Trump called in a favor for one of his friends. And personally, I don't think that the president should be doing this sort of thing, doing this nepotism sort of action. The dangers of nepotism always tend to sway somebody's moral grounding. Once you start doing favors for friends in a position that calls you to be unbiased, or at least calls everybody to follow the law, then the rules start getting bent for particular people, and then the rule of the law uh, has been degraded. And I think this case highlights Donald Trump's nepotism in his position as President of the United States. And Miss Oyer has made another video showcasing the characterization of Biden's pardons and clemencies and Trump's pardons and clemencies. And in this video, she also highlights the fact that Donald Trump is using the pardon system as a way to gain favor from his friends.
Every time I talk about Donald Trump's pardons, some of you ask me, what about Biden's pardons? So let's discuss. I'm Liz Oyer, the former pardon attorney for the Department of Justice. To understand the differences between Trump's pardons and Biden's, there are some basic things you need to know about the president's constitutional clemency power. Clemency is a broad term that actually encompasses 2 different things: pardons and commutations. A pardon wipes your slate clean. It forgives your conviction and it erases all of the penalties from it. A commutation just reduces your sentence. It does not forgive your conviction. Most of the clemencies that Biden granted were commutations. Most of the clemencies that Trump has granted are full pardons. In total, Trump has granted over 1,500 full pardons since January. Biden granted only 80 full pardons in 4 years. Yes, some of Biden's pardons went to his family members, and that is a shame. That is a legitimate criticism for the history books. That does not excuse or justify what our current president is doing right now with the pardon power. Trump's pardons have cost taxpayers over $1.3 billion and counting. Trump and his inner circle are profiting off the pardon power by accepting donations and political favors in exchange for pardons. I know some of you are looking for an accounting of Biden's pardons. Court records show that Biden's pardon recipients owed collectively about $700,000 in financial penalties. Most of them had paid off those debts before they received pardons. That's how the pardon process is supposed to work. But Donald Trump has turned it on its head, and we, the citizens, are literally paying the price.
And so Miss Oyer has shown a very clean and clear case that President Trump is not interested in upholding the law. Rather, he is more interested in using the systems and mechanics of it for his own personal gain. This is not the manner in which the president should act. I think this should be held as a crime that should equal to bribery of a court official. Because instead of bribing a judge right off, uh, people are bribing the President of the United States and are abusing the clemency powers he holds. And the President should be held liable for violating the separation of powers. Because Donald Trump is the President of the United States and he is the head of state, but he does not control the courts. His reign of power belongs to the executive branch, and he is crossing a line into the judicial branch for personal gain to pardon judgments. On another note, I would like to speak on the silencing of Miss Oyer. If you remember, Miss Oyer had claimed that the police were called on her and she was not able to speak to any other senators as she got fired.
Mr. Blanche fired me within hours. He then took extraordinary measures to silence me. He sent U.S. Marshals to my home in an effort to prevent me from speaking with members of Congress.
Miss Oyer here was silenced into not speaking about her firing uh, with the use of the law while she did not commit any crime. This is a very major abuse of the powers of the authorities, and it should be a criminal offense that Donald Trump's administration is doing this. They are oppressing the first right to freedom of speech. And under Donald Trump's administration, if you do not have the correct thought, then you are punished. And that's what we see here with Elizabeth Oyer. Here's another clip of her explaining more about how she was retaliated against for going against Donald Trump's administration.
Well, I was concerned about retaliation from Blanche and Company because he's already put me through the ringer once. I spoke out about my firing and he retaliated against me in various ways, including sending armed U.S. Marshals to my home, filing a bar complaint against me. So I was prepared for some retaliation from him. But what I was not prepared for was the vitriolic attacks that were leveled at me by two senators who apparently are hoping that he will get confirmed and then have them to thank for having his back and they'll be able to call in a big favor. I was really pretty brutally attacked by Josh Hawley and then by Eric Schmidt, who is the junior senator from Missouri, where Hawley is also from. And it was really just grandstanding at my expense. They didn't actually let me speak. They just attacked me. And then literally when they were done, got up and left the hearing room.
Miss Oyer's case is an exemplary case that Uh, Donald Trump's administration is abusing the powers of the federal government for personal gain. Miss Oyer has undergone a wrongful firing and retribution, using governmental systems to enforce a silence upon her. These actions are criminal actions, and they should be tried in the court of law. And so, lastly, I would like to focus on the behavior during these official meetings, during these official hearings. Miss Oyer highlights the behavior of lying in this last clip of her.
The casual lies that Mr. Blanche tells, even while sitting in this chair testifying to this committee, are emblematic of a much larger problem. Courts across the country have said they can no longer trust the Justice Department to uphold the law and tell the truth. There are over 700 documented instances of DOJ violating judicial orders.
And furthermore, we would expect the corruption to spread even further, affecting the people that are subjected to this system. The corruption is very great under Trump's administration, and Liz Oyer is just one person that has been subjected to this corruption. And I'm sure there's a long list of other people that have suffered under this treatment as well. I pray for this lawless behavior of the President of the United States will end and that law and order will be restored because 700 cases of DOJ uh, being mishandled is, in my opinion, overwhelming evidence that Donald Trump's administration is largely a lawless administration.